So he's considered the most beautiful one, and also the one who brings up devotion and love, and is himself the symbol of wisdom, Jnana Shakti. So in Parani, he is there only as Jnana Shakti. So Gurudev says that life में only Jnana Shakti है, तो that is sannyas. But when we want to act in the world and be successful in the world also, then that is Subramanya along with Icha Shakti and Kriya Shakti, which is Valli and Devasena. So after the story of Parani, where they tell all the devotees say you are the fruit and everything, he becomes happy and is ready to go back to Kailash. And there then Shakti, the Devi, tells him that now the time has come, and she gives him the veil. The veil is that spear which Subramanya is holding. So the Devi gives it to Subramanya and says, now go fight and destroy these demonic negativity. So he goes, and the first one, there's a huge hill. It's on the banks of the ocean that the fight happens. And the first thing that they have to do, there is a huge hill beyond which nobody is able to cross. It's like a huge block. Nobody can see beyond it. It's like nothing goes through. So then Gurudev said that this hill is symbolic. Sometimes you in life you don't know what the obstacle is. Like, for example, said children who studied everything and then they go to the exam and then they go blank. Suddenly you just go blank, you don't remember anything. So this happens. And sometimes creative people, they have to write, draw, and nothing, it's just not happening. And even on the spiritual path, people suddenly feel no experience, no juice in life, just no, it's just like nothing. So this block is what Subramanya destroys with the veil. That is the first thing that he destroys, this black hole of writer's block, this blankness that happens. So Subramanya destroys that first, and then beyond that he destroys Tarakasura. Is also so Tarakasura, he said, is obligation. No, it binds us. All the obligation, we feel obliged to this one, obliged to that one. No, all when your gratitude is focused on the divine, that whatever good is happening towards you is happening from the same source, the divinity. Then you are free. But isne ye kiya, so I have to do this back. Usne wo kiya. This all the obligations that you feel in life, they bind you, and they don't allow you to progress. So Tarakasura was the freeing you from all. When you realize that all that you have received is from that one source, all that is coming is from that divinity, and then you are freed. So destroys Tarakasura, and like this he destroys all the negative forces, including Surapadma. Here Surapadma's destruction is interesting. He turns into a tree, and he's not killed but transformed into a peacock, which Subramanya rides himself, and a rooster, which he carries on his flag. So that energy which is destructive was transformed into something that became constructive and supportive for progress both in the material and spiritual. So after this, then the wedding of Devasena happens. So here Gurudev explains, like I'm telling you in one line, but you should really listen to it in depth from Gurudev. Then it's another level. You can't explain it. So he says how Devasena, Sena means army. It represents the collective consciousness. It's very easy, it's to bring people together for a protest or something negative, or there are mobs. Immediately you say angry mob. Nobody says peaceful mob. है ना। तो ऐसे उस डिस्ट्रक्टिव वे में जाना बहुत ईजी है, बट इट रियली टेक्स ज्ञान शक्ति, लाइक ओनली द पावर ऑफ विजडम, द पावर ऑफ लव कैन ब्रिंग पीपल टुगेदर for something good. So, when this collective consciousness is aligned with wisdom, then a lot of good happens in society. And all of us have experienced this when we engage ourselves in seva projects that Gurudev has given a vision for. So much good happens in society. People coming together for something good. And only the power of love, the power of wisdom can make this happen. And then Icha Shakti is desire. When your desires are not, when the wisdom is not the basis, desire binds you in life. You're just running after one desire after another, and it doesn't take you anywhere. But when wisdom becomes integrated in your life, then your desire transforms into devotion. And that is the route for bliss, isn't it? That opens up the doorway to bliss in our life. So that desire is Icha Shakti, is what is represented by Valli. Is pure love. Without knowledge, it's just bondage. But when it comes together with Gyan Shakti, then devotion opens up in your life, and it's like the cool nectar of divinity permeates every moment of your existence and your conscious awareness. So life becomes something else, that smile becomes unshakable. It's not the peace that is the absence of disturbance, but peace that is your very nature. That dawns, that bliss that is your very nature. It's not happiness which is the absence of sorrow, but happiness that is your very nature, and you become established in that. So listening to Gurudev, so right now hopefully, Jyoti has brought everyone together for something good. So already the Kriya Shakti has, acted, and all these stories would have kindled that desire to listen to the knowledge. And once that knowledge is heard, all three would have come together. And this, like Gurudev said, Subramanya is the manifest form of the Guru principle. It is the master's presence that unfolds all wisdom, love, beauty, every dimension. It's all dimensions of the same principle, and it flowers like, different petals of the same flower. It's not one. When a flower blossoms, it's not okay, first that side petal, then this side petal. It all blossoms, no? So all these dimensions blossom in our consciousness. By when the sun rises, automatically the flower blossoms. Like that, when the light of wisdom, when the presence of the master is felt, all this blossoming happens effortlessly in our life. In between, this story happens where Brahma comes to Kailash and Shiva tells Subramanya, see, he takes care of all of creation, you learn from him. So then Subramanya goes and asks him, tell me the meaning of Om. So then Brahma says, Akara, Okara, Makara, we've happiness program mein seekh liya. So he says, Akara is for Srishti, I only know that much. I cannot tell you the remaining. So he says, how are you doing creation without even knowing the meaning of Om? You deserve to be in jail. So he puts Brahma in jail. So then Shiva says, what have you done? So he says, he didn't even know the meaning of Om. He says, as if you know, he says. He says, yes, I know. So then Shiva says, come on, tell me, what do you know? He says, I can't tell you just like that. If you want me to tell you about Om, then I'm your teacher, you are my student. You have to give me a higher seat. Now Parvati is watching all this drama. She says, what are you saying? There is nothing higher than Shiva. How can you have a seat that is higher than him? So then Shiva smiles and takes the little child and places him on his shoulder and gives him a seat that is higher than Shiva on his right shoulder. And there Subramanya whispers the meaning of Om into Shiva's ears. No, some 8 years back during Guru Purnima, Gurudev was narrating the story, and tears started flowing from Gurudev's eyes. Just talking about this whole episode. It was something so mystical, so mystical. And that's why there he's called Swami Natha. Natha means Lord, Swami, no, the Lord of the Lord, the Guru of the Guru. So there, that he spoke about the story at that time. When Gurudev was a small child, Didi had shared this story about how Gurudev's mother, no, Amma, every Sashti, okay, Sashti is the sixth day. In that Swami Malai temple, there is this. It's called Kavadi, okay. So it's like two pot. She would carry a pot of milk and circumambulate. It's a temple on top of the hill. Go around the temple carrying the pot of milk, and then you go to the sanctum and you offer the milk to Subramanya, Abhishek karke, then you come. And she would go. Gurudev and Didi were all small children. So she said they would hold her sari and walk with her. She would be walking with the pot of milk. And somewhere after the first few steps, Amma would go into bhav. Okay, so she would be in another altered, like in another state, and the milk, so much of the milk would flow from the pot, and her sari would get soaked in the milk. And when they would finish going around and reach the sanctum, and she would take the pot down to do the abhishek, the pot would be full to the brim. Even though her sari was soaked with the milk, the pot would still be full to the brim. No? So she was just reminded of this, like she was sharing this story one day when we had gone with her once to the temple. So at that time she shared this, that this is how it would be, that she would, just the moment you say Muruga and you take that first step, it would be another space.